Hi everybody. I've just written this report. It's a sort of semestral report 2024 about how things are going in the market in Sotogrande. And I thought I'd just go through a couple of things. In particular, we've seen sort of a big offtake of sales, and really Sotogrande is turning into what I would call a seller's market. And the purpose of today is really to go through why this is the case. So why is Sotogrande turning into a seller's market? I think there are a number of reasons, and mostly to do with economics. Obviously, when you have increased demand and you have limited supply, prices are going to go up, and therefore, sellers will be happy to sell. But there are also things like market sentiment, interest rates, whether people can borrow or not at really affordable prices, and then some of the local factors and maybe some external factors. So let's start at the beginning, increased demand. The Spanish market, I suppose, has been relatively solid. After the COVID, it's come back quite nicely, and that has boosted a lot of confidence. So people coming to Sotogrande that live in Spain and other parts of Spain and have their holiday home here are doing well, and the market is doing well for those people from Spain who like to come here to buy a property. So a positive economic climate is what we're seeing, and therefore encouraging people to come here. There's increased demand, I think, simply because of the desirability of Sotogrande as a place. Sotogrande is no longer a secret. It's no longer a quiet resort. People know about it, and there are a number of factors that have caused this. Obviously, during the pandemic, people that had homes here came to stay rather than being in an apartment, maybe in Madrid, rather be in the villa here. So the low density aspect of Sotogrande, it's very low rise everywhere. We don't have big buildings. It's all open was something that people enjoyed, and coming back here to stay at other times of the year, that's not particularly the holiday periods like August right now, so Christmas, Easter's, and in between. So it's becoming desirable. The Sotogrande school, the international school here, has really taken off. It has a boarding home now even, and I think the student number's gone from 800 or so maybe 4 or 5 years ago to now nearly 1,000, 1,100, 200 maybe even. So the school is doing particularly well. It's very well known, and people are using it. Parents put the children there. That obviously leads people to have to come and look for property to live if they want to actually stay here as well. So that is also a very good reason. Other things that we can talk about, for example, are the influx of foreigners. So foreign investment coming into Sotogrande is also key. Sotogrande is a second home primarily place, and therefore those who are coming here are looking for an investment as well as a holiday home. And the fact that some people can afford that means that the general economics of the world are doing well, so the global economy is doing relatively well. But having said that, there are things that also cause people to come here, which is instability in places such as Eastern Europe, where we're seeing an influx of many Poles, Lithuanians, Estonians coming this way, who are looking for a property which is a good investment, which is a place in the sun, but also potentially a safe haven should things get a little bit out of hand, more so than they are currently in that part of the world. So we're seeing a lot of Eastern Europeans coming to Sotogrande, and in terms of foreign investment. We're also seeing Americans, Canadians, people from the US, and Latin Americans coming to live in Spain, and then discovering Sotogrande as a place where they can potentially come and buy a holiday home. I understand that 50% of the US people coming to Spain all come from Florida, and that obviously is the Latin influence. So we have Mexicans, we have Venezuelans, we have Colombians, Argentinians, who may have initially been into Florida, but then now are discovering that this part of the world is the California of Europe, and that living in here is, actually quite desirable. So foreign investment coming from there as well. Less so perhaps, there is some Middle Eastern foreign expats that are coming back to Europe, with all that's going on in the Middle East. Maybe not necessarily because of the immediate stuff that's happened just now, but generally speaking, when you've lived in a place like Dubai, maybe you come back to rainy Manchester or rainy Paris or rainy Berlin, and you say, maybe my lifestyle is better, would be better if I went to a place like the south of Spain, where I have my expat life, but also have proximity to where I'm from, with the very good infrastructure we have here and the very good ways we can get around through airlines, and which are relatively cheap as well. So that's a little bit about the foreign investment. The next sort of major point is the limited supply. Limited supply has been caused because obviously the increased demand. Therefore, there are not many resale properties for sale in Sotogrande. And those that are for sale may necessarily need some sort of refurbishment. After all, Sotogrande is 60 years old, and with that time on the market, many of the older properties are now perhaps not fit for purpose, particularly if they're going to be used year-round. Most of the holiday homes were used in the summer, therefore didn't have any heating. And would you believe it, here in Andalusia, maybe heating is more important than air conditioning, because the very hot summer is a limited time, and other times you need a little bit of a warming of your property rather than cooling of your property. So low inventory there because of the high demand, low supply. But also, although we're seeing new products being produced, we got Village Verde, for example, that's being built. There are one or two other developments that are going on here. They are not going to be delivered for another maybe 1 or 2 years. Therefore, that needs to be some catch up in terms of the apartment blocks that are being built as new product. And the big properties that are being built up on La Reserva particularly, those big houses are mostly built by people who are buying them off plan and will be using them that way. So there's no immediate availability of finished new product in terms of villas. Another very important thing is market sentiment. When you have a positive outlook and everybody's saying, oh, look, that's a very good thing to do, maybe to come and buy your place, you get, like a snowball effect of lots of people wanting to buy the limited amount of property available. So that positive outlook has meant that, it is good for sellers to put their properties on the market if they so wish. And the investment potential, of course, people want to get in when things are low, and maybe you'll be able to have an upside on the properties that you're buying, or property that you're buying rather, and then in the future, make some, gains on the capital in terms of what you've bought. Another thing that I think is very important are the banks and the interest rate levels that they are offering. Anybody coming to Spain who is not a Spaniard or living in Spain would probably get no more than a 60% loan to value. But the interest rates now, I know one bank is offering you just under 3%. So when that is there, compared to what's maybe in other parts, it's a very good time to buy, good time to get a mortgage. Your cash you can probably invest elsewhere and maybe get a better return than the cost of a 3% loan from the bank. Local factors also important. Sotogrande is gathering momentum. It is becoming more popular. There are more things to do. There are more restaurants here. Obviously we live off polo, we live off sailing, we live off golf particularly. We've had the Live come through in Valderrama this year. We have the European tour in Sotogrande in I think it's October. So all those events are still carrying on, and we're now in the middle of the polo season. So, you know, that quality of life that people want is happening. You know, previously you would just have those things. Now we've got quite a bit of nightlife in the sense of concerts and music festivals and that sort of thing, which come up in the summer, of course, for the demand, and then they go away. So the quality of life here is very good. Security is very good, something you'll see in here in my report, that you know, people feel safe in this part of the world and Sotogrande, and you know, that's very important for anybody seeking tranquility and you know, a good quality of life. And the last thing I think that's very important is the telecommuting trends. We've all heard people talk about the digital nomad. The digital nomad is here in Sotogrande. It's a comfortable thing to do, and people can come and live and work here, maybe commute back and forth to their place of employ back in Europe or somewhere, but live here principally and work from home. So there you are. The bits that I talked about was the seller's market, which is in this report. There are other things in here as well. So if you like it, just send me a note and I'll have it emailed to you or WhatsApp to you. And of course, there's other stuff in there as well. So anything you want to know about real estate in Sotogrande, please just contact me and I'll be very happy to help.